Hi all, in this lecture we will be seeing about signal node architecture in wireless sensor network. At the end of this lecture, we will be able to know how a wireless sensor network is built with various nodes. Now let us see what are the requirements of a particular node. These nodes have to meet certain requirements like they need to be small, cheap and energy efficient. They have to be equipped with right sensors and it needs the necessary computation with memory resources. They need even the adequate communication facilities. At the end of this lecture, we will be knowing the main components what are involved for a composition of a node for a wireless sensor network, which includes controller, radio modem, sensors and batteries. So, these are the hardware components involved in a sensor node architecture. Controller. A controller is used to process all the relevant data capable of executing arbitrary codes. The next comes the communication device. What is a communication device? These nodes is formed in a network which requires a device for both sending and receiving the information over a wireless channel. The next is going to be the sensors or the actuators. The actual interface to the physical world. So these devices can observe or control physical parameters of the environment. Memory. Some memory are there to store programs and intermediate data. So usually we have different types of memory which are used for both programs and data. The last component is going to be the power supply. As everyone knows, the power is going to be the main component of the sensor node. These are in the form of batteries to provide energy. Sometimes some form of recharging are also obtained for energy and from the environment as well. First topic will be the controller. So let us now first see the difference between a microcontroller versus microprocessor. Hope everyone is aware about the difference as you have studied in the previous subjects. So the microcontroller is going to be a general purpose processor and it is optimized for various applications which consumes low power. There are many examples of microcontroller like DSP processor, field programmable gate array and ASIC. So other microcontrollers are also there such as Texas Instruments, MSP430 and Atmel Atmega. So if you see here about each controller, it is going to contain different bits, varies from 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit and so on, and according to the bit, it is also going to have the difference in their storage and the memory. So the next is going to be your communication device. What is generally a communication? Yes, communication is going to be used for transferring of information from one device to another. So here the communication is going to be the transmission medium. Here in wireless sensor network, it can be of electromagnetic or ultrasound or light or any of the device can be used for communication. That is going to be the medium. The next one is radio transceivers. Radio transceivers is going to transmit a bit or byte stream as a radio wave. So when we receive it, we are going to convert it back into bit or byte stream, whatever is sent from the transmitter side. To select the appropriate transceiver, we need to recognize the characteristics that needs to be taken into account. The characteristics include service to upper layer, power consumption and energy efficiency, carrier frequency and multiple channels, state change times and energy, data rates, modulation, coding and still more. So the capabilities depends upon the interface, whether it is going to be a bit or a byte or a packet level. Based on the interface, we are going to select whether it is going to be a single channel or a multiple channel. The data rates and the range depends so on. The radio performance is going to be based on the modulation. whether it is going to be an ASK or FSK, PSK, BPSK, QPSK and many more modulation techniques. What is the gain? The gain is going to be the ratio of the output signal power to the input signal power in terms of decibels. Amplifiers with high gain are designed to achieve good energy efficiency. Then, if gain is so be on the signal amplified, what about the noise figure? The noise figure is defined as the ratio of the signal to noise ratio to the signal to noise ratio of the output element, and it is going to be very minimum. The power efficiency of the front end is given as the ratio of the radiated power to the overall power consumed by the front end. The receiver sensitivity needs to be very minimum as the signal power of the receiver needed to achieve a prescribed bit error rate to the noise. And the range, it should be of the transmitter very clear, as the range is to be decrease the interference. What about the blocking performance? The blocking performance of a receiver is always achieved when the bit error rate in the presence of an interferer. The blocking performance can be improved by interposing a filter between an antenna and a transceiver. Out of band emission is going to have the inverse to the adjacent channel suppression to the out of band emission of a transmitter. To limit the disturbance, the wireless sensor network acts itself in a multi-channel setup. The carrier sensing and RSSI has taken place in medium access control protocols with the channel in a critical information. The frequency ability and the stability towards the temperature varies, which denotes the degree of variation from nominal center frequencies when environmental conditions of oscillators like temperature or pressure changes. The last performance for the radio transceivers is going to be the voltage range. The transceiver should operate in a reliable mode over a range of supply voltages. Otherwise, the inefficient voltage stabilization circuitry will be required. The transceiver are divided into 4 operational states. The states are transmit, receive, idle and sleep. In the transmit state, the transmit part of the transceiver is actually active and the antenna is going to radiate the energy. Next, in the second state, that is the receive part is going to be active. The third state is the idle state. It is ready to receive, but it is not actually going to receive. Hence, some functions in hardware is going to get switched off by reducing the energy consumption. This idle state is an example of a student sitting in a classroom. They will be ready to receive the answers, but they will be sitting in an idle mode. And the fourth state is going to be the sleep state. So, in the sleep state, certain parts of the transceiver will get switched off and it will not be able to receive the information. Hence, there are 2 conditions which are going to be recovery time and startup energy. So, the amount of energy is going to be consumed only through the startup period from the sleep mode. There are wake-up receivers where we are used in various radios in the research purpose. As we have discussed many types for microcontrollers, even for radio transceivers, we have different families like RFM TR1000 family, Chipcon CC1000, Chipcon CC2400 and Infineon TDA525X family. So, how it is going to differ for each? It is going to differ in terms of frequency, bandwidth, data rate and the modulation which we are going to use for the communication. So, if we see here, the RFM3 TR1000 family is going to have the frequency for 916 or 868 MHz, whereas if you see the Chipcon CC2400, it is going to have 2.4 GHz. See the comparison, here we are having megahertz and there we are having gigahertz, and the modulation is also going to differ. For RFM we are going to have ASK and here we are going to have DSSS, that is your direct sequence spread spectrum modulation. So when the frequency is going to vary, obviously our bandwidth and the modulation is going to vary. Like wireless sensor networks, we have radio transceivers for even ad hoc networks. IEEE 802.1 with an extension of B, G and A is used for ad hoc networks. It can cover long distance and works well in mobile environment. Apart from the basic transceiver concepts, we have the advanced concepts for radio communication. They are wake-up radio, spread spectrum transceiver and ultra-wideband communication. First one is going to be the wake-up receiver. Generally, we have the problem of being to receive the information being in an idle mode. So, they don't know when to switch on a receiver when it is not clear. We have this mostly in MAC protocol, that is the medium access control protocol, when to switch on the receiver. The next is going to be with the WSN. So, they need to be permanently able to receive in a network with low average traffic. That is what is contention based MAC protocol. The next, the receiver has to check for the incoming messages and then only it needs to switch on the receiver. Whenever a signal is getting detected, they wake up the receiver for actual reception. Ideally, the wake up receiver can already process simple addresses, but it's not clear about when it has to be done.